All right, so gaps filled, upside failed up there, that failed, that failed. I tried, ended up being a lower high. The gaps were stronger, the downside. So I got my ass kicked for sure. Wow, yeah, not happy about this. Not proud either. So I lost, blew out like eight of those accounts. Sucks. Those are the ones that were none of those were, well, at least 6 of those weren't at payout and we're still a little bit of a ways away. Yeah, not proud, not happy about this. Yeah, so blew those out. Blew those accounts out. Sucks. It really sucks. These two did well. Basically, they just had more cushion. They had more cushion, and then I went short, and that worked out for those. I think I had already flipped short on these, but they were just too close to the stop, so they got destroyed. Yeah, not good, man. Not good at all. I don't like that. But I mean, these 6 are still intact. I'm gonna request 8,600 tonight. These 2 are still intact. I think this is day 3 or 4 on the second payout request round. Yeah, so those worked out. The original short worked, but like I said, there was so much chop, and I let myself get chopped up. It was I wasn't warm coming into the day. I didn't manage my risk well towards the end of the day. Once I started taking heat, I took more size. That's the number one factor that caused this. That's the number one factor. Too much size. I mean, I've been preaching small size, 1 or 2 micros, and I traded a lot bigger than that. When I started taking heat, it worked for a while. I mean, really, I wasn't taking bad trades, but I wasn't managing them. I wasn't managing them how I had been, which was, like last week, I was taking if I saw a profit, I took it. It's like 5, 10, 15 points maybe on ES, I took it. On NQ, if it was like 10, 20, 30 points, I took it. And I could have done that this morning. I had an opportunity. I was up to start the day. I was actually up. I think I saw it go up like, I don't know, like $115 or so. But I stayed in it. That's the difference in what happened today compared to what I've been doing. Is I stayed in the trade thinking that it was a short on both NQ and ES. I stayed in the short thinking that this gap was going to fill, and that was on this move right here. So you see it put in those wicks, and I think that second wick is where I was like short, like right in here, and so I was like up like 30 points on NQ. I don't remember how much on ES, but it was enough. And I didn't take it because I thought, oh, well, this is the break, and I'm gonna catch this big move early and be done for the day, and having taken little risk, and it's gonna feel so nice, And I'll let those voices take hold. Instead of doing what's been working, which was just taking, small wins and just letting them accumulate. And so then I got, that definitely affected me. I had my stop too wide too. And when I saw that it turned around and didn't work, I should have cut it earlier. But I was trying to let it play out because, yeah, I just liked that level down here, and it did look like it wanted to, to break lower. But it found that support right there on this zone and in Q. I mean, that was the tell. It just broke lower in that zone in ES and turned higher. And then, I mentioned that we were in value and it looked like there's going to be a lot of chop. And it did. It chopped around. I didn't really heed my own advice though, and I took trades in there. I think those were actually okay. When I was taking some trades in here, it was okay. I continued to not take my profits, so that was the problem. And I'd get up decent on a lot of those, and then they'd come back on me, and then I'd get stopped out, and so that kept adding up, and that definitely affected me psychologically. And I was I wanted that back. I didn't want to give those up. I took some trades in there that I did take them. I took profit, and I was trying to get in a rhythm a little bit. And yeah, and then once I started to see that it was like winding up, turning up here, and once it started to break that pattern up and looked like it was gonna possibly test this overnight high, that's where I really got in trouble, because I got in more because I was like, okay, well, my mind was like, oh, it's for sure going now. The pattern broke up. Everything's bullish. It tried to fill the gap, couldn't do it. So we're going higher. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking we're going for sure higher, at least testing overnight high. I better get in with size so I can make up for what I've done so far today, which was, terrible trades, terrible trade management. So I got in bigger, and I was up a good chunk, honestly. I was like probably, I don't know, I think I got long somewhere around here, like 79 or so. And so, I was up like 12 points on ES. I think I got long right around like 119, 140 here. So maybe 40 points at max in NQ. But I was stubborn. And then when it turned around, that candle, look at that. That should have been my tell. I was like, I should have said, okay, no, I'm not sticking around for this. And, but I was thinking we saw so much chop that we would maybe find some support here at the 21 EMA. It did initially. And so that was, I think at that point I was like, okay, I'm not going to get shaken out of this trade. And then I didn't manage my risk. I had too much on, and I cut those longs way too late. I think I was trimming in here. I was probably all out somewhere around like 68 or so. But the damage had been done at that point. That was too much of a loss. It affected me too much psychologically, too much, in the actual P&L. I didn't have a whole lot of room to work. And at that point, I was for sure just wanting to get back those losses. So I think I did end up getting short in here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I did end up getting short in here, and I was holding short. And I think I can't even remember at this point where I got stopped out. I probably on this bar, because I think I got short and gained a lot back, but I held on to it and then I added to it, and so that moved my average lower. And like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of room to work with on these accounts, and so when I moved my average lower and we had this bounce, I think that's where I got stopped out. So around here. But I was thinking that at that point, once I saw the reversal, where'd that go? Once I saw those reversals, lower, I thought, like once I saw this trend line breaking, I was like 100%, I was for sure like going for this. It was a matter of, sizing right and managing the trade properly so that I wouldn't get stopped out. And I just didn't have enough room in these accounts to do that. I could have, if I just stayed small and didn't try to get it all back at once. And I mean, if I had done that all day, if I just stayed small the entire day and, didn't add size, trying to make up for losses, that's such a killer. What I've been avoiding doing for so long, and it's a terrible habit to have, but it happened to me today, and I didn't manage risk. Didn't manage risk with size, and I didn't manage risk with, an actual stop in the right place. And I got chopped up. Came into the morning, came into the week just kind of cold and not like warmed up, and didn't give myself a fair chance. I mean, this is the dangers of Mondays and Fridays and pretty much every day of the week. You got to come in mentally prepared to go to war, and I wasn't. So those hurt. That hurts because actually, I got to think about these. These two actually, they were on their second payout. So I was working on a second payout for those. These two, actually these hurt. These four hurt because these two actually were, I think, like probably 1 day away, 1 or 2 decent days away from getting another payout. So those suck. These were, I think, still a decent ways away. These four. So this is. I mean, I guess it's part of the game, but I could do better, and it's not really setting a good example for the live stream either. That's what I was trying to not do. Try to be a little different than some of these guys that are blowing out all the time. But I guess tomorrow I'm just gonna come in and try to be better. Well, I mean, at least I still I've got these 6 still working. Like I said, I'm going to request those. It's a decent payout tomorrow. These are still working. Got four more evals I just passed 2. So I'll get 4 back from this A loss. So let's see, that's 8. Oh, so I'll have 12 accounts tomorrow. It is what it is. I don't have anything else to say about that, I guess. It's pretty embarrassing to let that happen. But I'm trying my best to be as transparent as possible on here. It's hard though. It's hard to keep the when I was taking heat there, it probably would have done me good to keep these or to have these up. I knew they weren't showing on the live stream, and that probably contributed to me taking these stupid trades, stupid size. But it is what it is. Let me think. I don't know if I have anything else to say about that. So, I'm done for the day. At least, I've got these accounts. Those weren't affected. And I was able to do some work on these accounts. So, still rolling. Just gonna do better. Try to do better the rest of the week. All right. That's all I got for the stream now.